Welcome to Dental Unscripted. Where Mike Dinzio and Paula Quinn break down the practice ownership journey, one episode at a time. Starting up, buying, and running a successful dental practice.
All right, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Dental Unscripted. We are in the middle of Shark Bite Week, BYTE, and it's a week jam-packed of all kinds of cool technology that's impacting the dental industry. We've had some incredible interviews. We see a lot of crazy things happening right now, and it's only going to get crazier. And so we thought, hey, let's just jam-pack a week full of interesting and cool companies that are leading the way. And so thanks again for joining. I'll just remind you to like, subscribe, follow all the things. We're on YouTube if you like to see our faces. Paula told us this morning that she washed her hair. So on YouTube, we can
special day. It's
a special day. So please join us on YouTube to see Paula's amazing hair today. I will say, the ratings matter. So we do this on our own time. It doesn't benefit us in any way other than just giving you guys great information. So just like
about the vote, should we be telling people to vote?
They can vote. I don't have all those details, but there is a thing going on where we would love your vote. But to keep this thing going, Paula, why don't you introduce our guest and tee up this episode of Shark Bite Week?
Yeah, absolutely. Usually when I do this, I do the whole sales pitch on accident because I love these companies so much that we have on here. So today we have Senior Partner Executive, Jared Pove with Pearl AI, one of my fave technologies. We'll have to tell the story of when it was not my favorite technology. But now that I know everything about it, I absolutely love it. Everything from, case acceptance to confidence for dentists. And we'll get into all that. And Jared knows much more about that than I being a clinician myself, learned to read x-rays old fashioned way. I've been in dentistry for 35 years. And when I first heard about this technology, Michael, you'll have to tell Jared the story. We did not share this, but I'm sitting here thinking, I know how to read an x-ray. I've been reading x-rays for a really, really long time, even on the view box to the going in and developing them myself. I was so proud of, that x-ray. Not only did I open the contacts, but then I went in and developed it and brought it out, and it's just the right density and everything. So when this technology came along, I'm like, what? They ain't got nothing on me. So, Michael, why don't you tell this story to Jared real quick of the first time you were like the dentist, remember, from Texas that was on the trade show?
No, Jared, it was an amazing conversation and experience for me. So we're sitting at a trade show booth, like we're doing a trade show.
By the way, I'm clinical. Michael is not. So I've got the 35 years clinical. So go ahead, Michael.
Yeah. So we're talking to this doctor, and of course, he comes to us not making as much money as he wanted to or would like. And I'm talking to him about his financials constantly and just trying to help him with that. And he calls me one day and says, Mike, I went to this seminar, and this is like in the early days of Pearl AI. I don't know how many years have you guys been out there?
We started in around 2019, 2020.
Well, yeah. It's around there. Okay. So it's like maybe 2021 ish.
Okay.
And I don't know anything about your company. And so he's like,
I didn't either.
Yeah. And so he went to this seminar, and he's like, I'm going to sign up. I got to sign up now because they're offering this sweet deal and I got to take it. I'm like, well, what's it do? And he's like, well, it reads x-rays. And I'm like, I don't even know how to have this conversation. So I passed the phone to Paula. Paula's the clinician. She's the clinical coach. And so, and I'm thinking exactly what she's about to say. So she gets on the phone with the doctor, and I hear her talking in the next booth over, and I hear her say, meanwhile, I just took a drink of water. Okay. Just took a drink of water. And I hear her on that right over there say, well, doc, I don't understand. Can't you read an x-ray? It's like the most, and I just shot water all over the booth. And it was just amazing. But here we are, full circle, right? So
we're like, you can't live without Pearl
Yeah.
AI now.
yeah, exactly. So Jared, that tees you up for like why
All the dumb people out there. No, just
Love
kidding.
it.
We're not calling anyone dumb. All the people who don't fully understand the capabilities and potential and what this actually can provide to them as a clinician in their practice and for the patients, right? So,
Sure.
Jared, what do you think the number one thing? Well, tell us a little bit about the company. We haven't even. No one knows what the hell you even do yet.
Yeah, founded by dentists. The president of our company, actually, this is his second AI company. So he's done this before. He knows exactly how to, get it going. His first company, really high level, read images off of social media campaigns, like for advertising purposes. And so his dad's a dentist, and he went to him and was like, "Wait,
He's the one collecting all my data. Is that what you're saying?"
Yeah, exactly. And he essentially said, "Hey, look, you read images all day. My AI can. There's got to be something here that we can collaborate on." And a couple of years later, Pearl is here.
That's crazy. So,
and why the name? What is there a significance behind Pearl?
No, that's a good question, because I didn't know either. But it's as basic. Once I say it, you'll be like, "Oh yeah, it just makes sense. It's your pearly whites."
Oh,
right?
Okay. Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
that makes perfect sense. So you guys are like you guys literally were on the bleeding edge of incorporating AI into software. Like I can't think of too many AI. I mean, I'm sure there was definitely a lot of like development going on behind the scenes, 2020 when COVID happened, but right now it's just on fire. Like AI is just on fire. It's just watching the news, and there's this like US China war on who's going to win the AI battle. And I'm like,
Sure.
holy shit, what is happening right now? So like it's gone from zero to like crazy right now. But you guys were one of the first. Yeah, you one of the first. So okay, so a doctor can read an x-ray.
But can they?
Why does this make sense? Go, Jared. Why does this make sense?
I think, Michael, you and I could probably associate this a little bit better than Paula, just because when we look at your stereotypical x-ray, what are we looking at, right? Like I always just trusted my dentist, like, okay, sure, there's good gray, there's bad gray, like it's all gray to me, right? And so for those that are online, the image behind me is exactly what the AI can do.
I was about to be proud of you for having that image.
Wow.
It'll color code the pathologies that it sees. It'll outlay the anatomy of the teeth. So to specifically answer your question, why Pearl? Well, it's the best patient-facing teaching tool ever. I had a doctor a couple of weeks ago, and she was telling me that she has like a 3D tooth model printed, and it's sliced, right? And so she was like, here's your enamel, here's your dentin, here's your pulp. Like she would carry this around, and she's just like, now when she uses Pearl, her patients are like, oh, those are my teeth, right? There's a lot more buy-in with the patients as opposed to them looking at a model or black and white images.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you led you led with an answer from the patient's chair or the patient's perspective. I love that you did that. Because you're right. We all have thought about it.
You're like, what? Okay, yep, I see it. No, I don't really, but
yeah, exactly. like a non-dental person is just trusting their dentist. And I can't say we all, but there's a lot of patients out there that might visit a DSO or something, and they don't have a relationship with that patient. I'm picking on the DSOs. They're lots of volume or just a lot of associates turning over, whatever your situation is. And so the patients just don't have the trust. And this is a second opinion for that patient. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah, the software that's behind me is like our first or base level, and it's called Second Opinion. That's exactly what it does. And
Oh, he knew that. Did you know that, Mike?
Of course I knew that.
Thank you for the plug. Thanks for the plug, Ben. Love it.
Paula's in the mood to just call it out.
So what I loved, so going back to me calling the doctor out and basically calling him stupid or something, I feel like now,
Sure.
I working with especially young dentists, we do a lot of startups, a lot of acquisitions, first time buyers. I think it's less about being able to read it and a lot about having the confidence to say it. And tell me a little bit about, I can only assume that part of this is that it's like, not only do I see it, it's being marked and AI sees it as well. So that second opinion isn't just for the patient, it's also for the provider to have the confidence to not be questioned by the patient maybe as much, having more people say yes so they don't feel in front of their team like I diagnose the patient isn't doing it. I get a lot of young docs that are either associates in a practice that they're following behind this guy that's been doing it for 20 years. They don't want to say, and hygienists are the same way, by the way. So I'd like to talk about on the hygiene part too. I know I'm jumping around, but I will go back to it because I feel like a lot of hygienists don't want to diagnose or co-diagnose, have conversations, tee it up for the dentist. So can you speak on that confidence level? Maybe, I don't know if you have statistics or anything to back it up. You don't have to. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, statistically, a doctor's going to see about 37% more. I kind of phrase it as they'll see it sooner, right? And so there's been a move throughout dentistry where they're moving towards a more conservative type of approach as opposed to just drill and fill everything. Now they just want to preserve the tooth as much and as long as possible. And so as an example, incipient lesions, the AI can see that years before a normal human could. Even a trained 50-year dentist, the AI can be years ahead of that. And so it's just more of a combo. When they're working together, it's better, more efficient, more effective. My favorite story actually is kind of the reverse, Paul, of what you were saying. Because of course, the younger generation loves technology. Like I always say, I can't wait for the students to graduate because they've been using AI forever. But I was at a convention like what Michael was saying, and it's just hopping. It's always busy. I have a lot of vendors that say, if we see Pearl, we know this is going to be a big show, right? Because Pearl is here. Mm-hmm. But a father and a son team practice came up to me, and I totally stereotyped as like the dad is using a typewriter, dipping the images like Paula, right? And the son is going to want it. But it was reverse. The dad was just like, hey, I'm so tired of him coming and tapping me on the shoulder every 5 minutes. Hey, will you look at this? Can you confirm this? He's like, Pearl is going to fix that for me.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it was a good learning experience.
Yeah.
Well, I maybe I've heard a presentation once or twice, but my thought is like what really resonated with me was the shades of gray, right? Human. Can you talk about that? Because in my mind, like that really hit home for me personally. Even seeing a dentist, I've gotten totally two conflicting diagnoses from two different dentists.
Yeah.
One from an ultra conservative dentist, and one from arguably
Apparently
maybe
very aggressive.
more aggressive. And so like I almost sitting in that chair thinking, well, gosh, like I'll listen to the computer instead. Right. And it's only what your eyes can see. And so can you talk a little bit about how that shade of gray matters? And it almost takes the emotion out of that conversation. And to Paula's point, by the way, like it would be nice if we could get some consistency in the industry where if we bought a practice, and someone's more aggressive or conservative, whatever, this model just kind of eliminates that concern from an acquisitions perspective. So anyways, I'm just kind of bouncing around a little bit, but tell us a little bit about the eyes and how that and what that looks like.
No, that's really powerful. And that's one of our common themes is the shades of gray, right? Like if I'm speaking, I'll typically say, hey, we're going to talk about different shades of gray, right? And people kind of perk up if they're fans of that book. And it's just kind of a good way to warm up everybody. But yeah, Michael, you and I, if we look at an x-ray, we see probably 30 different shades of black and white. If Paul is looking at it, it's going to be between 40, 50. A dentist is going to be between 50. Unicorn dentists are about 70. So right there, it kind of tells you the differences of literally why a patient can't see everything that a dentist can see because their eyes are just trained differently. And a dentist can see almost twice the amount of shades that their patient can. The AI can see about 130 times the amount of shades of black and white that a dentist can. So it's able to just see on such a small scale that it's able to differentiate, is this cervical burnout or is this actually decay? That's where it kind of can pick up those incipient lesions, as I said, years before a human would be able to see it.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, do you have any statistics or how, like, I mean, your company's called Pearl AI, right? So you're using AI somehow to throw out, what you guys are seeing. So it's literally the epitome of Shark Bite Week. Do you have any statistics on practice performance? I mean, you guys have been around for a minute. I'm sure someone that incorporates this fully into their practice, I'm sure you've seen some great things come out of those results. Do you have anything to share?
Yeah, I actually was on so what most of our sales reps do on a day-to-day basis is Zoom meetings, right? Somebody saw us somewhere, they expressed interest, we'll jump on a Zoom meeting. And earlier today, it was so fun because yesterday I demoed a doctor. He loved everything top to bottom. He said, I just want to make sure my team is going to be as bought in as I am. Can you demo them today? And so about an hour ago, I just finished that. And it was so cool to just hear from front office, assistant, hygienist, and then also the doctor blown away at everything that Pearl was able to do to streamline the effectiveness, help put everybody on the same page. Statistically, those are difficult because you would have to rely on like really, really good data. And as you guys know, as consultants, sometimes offices are just, hanging on as tight as they can by a thread. And so the data, if it's there, we're able to process that on average. If a doctor or an office incorporates Pearl full steam, everybody's on board, within the first month, they're going to see about a $9,000 jump in production.
9,000?
Quick, Jared, I know what you mean, but explain what you mean with them if the data is there.
So a lot of times, so a great example is, if we meet with a doctor and they're just like, yeah, I have a great case acceptance. Well, what is it? Right? They don't know. Do you track it? Do you have a software to track it? And they're just like, no, I just know my patients trust me. Right? That's the variables that
we love that one.
Yeah, exactly.
What about X-ray protocol in general? I thought that's where you were going because you guys you scrape history, right? You scrape.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love with. I think this is beautiful for acquisitions because it can literally go back and look at. I mean, you know better than me. X amount of history of data. How long has that decay been there and nobody's fixed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our platform what we call practice intelligence will go back 18 months and scan every x-ray of every patient that has been in the past 18 months. The next step of what it'll do is kind of categorize what it finds and then do a chart audit, right? So if on my x-rays, it finds a decay on number 3, it's going to go and read my file. And if there's no codes in the ledger to say that it's been diagnosed, so obviously nobody's been working on it, it'll flag it. So when they look at my name on the schedule, it'll say, hey, there's some undiagnosed caries on Jared. Get in here and take a look at it, right? So before I even show up, the entire team would know, here's why he's here. Also, there might be some opportunities, doc, take a look. And then it's just kind of steamrolls from there. So
can pull an unscheduled list to fill future appointments, or does it have to be somebody coming in? Like, can you pull a list of just all the decay that's unfound, and you can call on those patients and try and get them in?
Yeah, so you could run a quick report. The office that I was on an hour ago, they were dentrix, and they're just like, it's impossible. You have to click like 50 times to find out who needs a crown, right? And so with Pearl, it's literally 2 clicks, and you get a list of everybody who has an unscheduled crown. So go ahead.
No, I love that. This is a front office's dream.
Exactly, right? So if they get a cancellation of a crown, their worst nightmare is trying to be able to fill that dollar per dollar. Well, with Pearl, in 2 clicks, they can have a list of every patient that has an unscheduled crown.
I love that.
Well, I mean, we talk a lot about front office and like even the back on auditing your day and being prepared for your day and pulling opportunity in where there's opportunity. And that could be billing, collecting, scheduling family, wishing people happy birthdays, all kinds of really good stuff. But to like add the element of, hey, there's some like treatment waiting for you to just pick up, like, dude, that's next level.
But what's great about Michael, and I think it's what you're saying, but I just want to make sure the listeners are hearing. It's not even like all we can do as front office hygienists, people and professionals in the practice is look at what's unscheduled based on what's been diagnosed. So we look at the treatment plan. This is next level because it's ripping through the last 18 months. If doctor missed number 3, DO, D, buckle, whatever, this is saying, hey, this not only is an opportunity, but it was undiagnosed. So it's even adding more to the treatment plan opportunity than just what I already said was on there that patient hasn't done yet. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you
100%. Yeah, 100%. I'm just like thinking, man, like I remember a consultant told me when I was getting into consulting.
It wasn't me.
No, it wasn't you, Paul. It was before you. I know not everything comes from you, but she said to me, she's like, it's all about the schedule. It's just all about the schedule. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I came from banking. Let's look at the profit and loss. Let's cut costs. Let's do some marketing, get more bodies in, whatever. But the more and more and more I get into this industry after so many years of been in already, it is all about the front. We could provide the front office with so many amazing tools like Pearl AI, like the phone stuff we've just talked about, like dental intel we talk about all the time. So many things to help doctors be more productive. If the schedule isn't productive, you with technology, it's like, what are we doing here? How's this not blowing up these practices, right? Yeah.
I have another question for you, Jared, just because I'm sure you've been asked this. I mean, obviously I have my opinion, but it has to be a question that you get asked. Like, how accurate is this? Can I rely on this? This is AI. Like, is it, you know what I mean? Like, can I trust this? I'm sure both from patient and provider, you get this question.
I figured that's what you were going to say as you were teeing it up. I'm like, here comes the accuracy.
Well, it's Paula. She is.
It is a good question. It's a good, fair question. I'm a data geek, and so I try and pull my geekiness back because sometimes it makes people kind of glaze over. The short answer is the AI is much like a human. The better the quality of the X-ray, the better it's going to be able to see what's going on there. So cervical burnout, overlap, angulation will trigger some false readings. My personal dentist here in Utah uses it, and he was like, I'd rather know something might be there as opposed to miss it. So if there is a false reading, he doesn't let it slow him down, which I love that feedback. There was a study for people that are kind of data geeks like myself. UCLA uses Pearl. They're obviously in their dental school, and they did a study independent of us. We didn't fund it or anything. And they put their 4th years reading some FMX up against Pearl, and this fourth year students were about 53% accurate. According to their processes, Pearl was 94% accurate. So you're going to get a great tool.
Wow. Yeah, I guess my question to Paula would be, how accurate are your dentists?
No, great question. Fair enough. But I want to ask the other end of that now, because we did a podcast recently, and we were talking about AI technology, how it might make some people lazy. And lazy is the only word I can think of. I'm sure that's not the appropriate word, where we're 100% reliant on this stuff. And we forget, we went to school for this, and this is a technology, and it's there to support you, not necessarily do your job for you.
Right.
Any words of wisdom on that, or even just thoughts on that? It can be inappropriate, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean it that way.
Yeah, it could be inappropriate, Jared.
I thought this was
It is
exactly-
unscripted.
I mean, don't
It's
hold
unscripted.
back your thoughts. Like, it might not be, I just call them lazy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I want to hear your perspective.
I love
I guess it
it.
doesn't have to be politically correct, Lenny.
Oh, perfect.
I've got a vivid imagination, so now I'm like derailed here.
That was Michael. He started that whole shit.
Becoming lazy. I think it's a great question. It's something to be aware of. I think it's dependent on obviously the user and their staff. I had a dentist tell me, I thought I did great restorations until I got a great hygienist, right? And that hygienist was kind of like that backup, like, you missed this or finish this or whatever. Yeah, exactly. And so for him, that's how he appreciated Pearl, is he was like, this is my new great hygienist. It's going to help keep me consistent. I always say trust but verify. If you see something on Pearl, obviously go in and do your due diligence, incorporate, the oral history of the patient and things. Are they drinking battery acid, or do they have good hygiene? Those types of things. So because I'm aware of Pearl will trigger some false readings, I think it's my due diligence to let the doctors know, trust but verify.
Well, it's kind of like back in school when you got a reference. You didn't just get one, right? You didn't write a paper on one reference. You had to have multiple. ChatGPT, if it spits something out, you better verify it. Google, what was that Wikipedia? Everyone got really afraid of that because you know what I mean, though. No matter what it is, you should fact check, because definitely. So I guess that would be the same advice for AI. Is it's amazing. It's a great support. Like you said, trust it, but verify. So
we were talking about those Zennials on the last episode, and it would be really interesting to see like what the Zennials will be as dentists using all this technology, and then what that next generation dentist is going to be like. And it's like, will they verify? Will they? Well, it's like, will they verify? I don't know if
they need to. They might not need to.
If you've ever talked to like a Zennial or someone, I don't know if there's younger right now yet, but like they'll be like, well, ChatGPT says, it's like, what are we talking about right now? Like, do you even question what's being spit out right now? So, right. Like, so is Pearl AI going to eliminate the dentist's brain? I mean, you don't do any of the treatment planning anymore. You just do the work, and we're going to have this robot diagnose you real quick. Like, who knows where dentistry could be in 10 years? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well, I'd love for Jared, if there's anything we're missing. I was going to say it's a great tee up for your last question, but I think if there's anything you want to bring to the listeners' attention, or Michael's and I's, about Pearl AI that we may have missed or didn't touch on, we'd love to make sure that gets out there.
No, I think it's been great. I always just echo, everyone that I sell to that has used another platform just appreciates the build, and the user interface is what we call it. It's easy to use. And the reason is it was built by dentists and hygienists, right? Based on their real world experience. So many times I'll get a dentist, office manager, or hygienist that says, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I've been begging for. I just didn't even know this existed, right? So it's really, really fun to put your, jump in the corner with a company that was built by dentists, founded by dentists, directed by dentists. Our clinical directors are all practicing dentists.
I'm
crazy.
assuming you have some training for both the dentist, the team. You all provide some of that.
Yeah, we have a few avenues of training. When we first started, we were doing like literally everything is one-on-one. Everybody's got to get together on the same, Zoom link, same day, same time. And a lot of our offices, surprising to me, said this is almost impossible, right? And Paula, both of you know, dentist offices can get screaming 1,000,000 miles an hour. So we moved to what is mostly used as like pre-recorded training videos that we send. And if for some reason they have somebody that just struggles and needs some one-on-one attention, they can book a one-on-one. All of our trainers are former hygienists and office managers, so they speak the language perfectly. And it's all part of their monthly subscriptions too. It's not like an upcharge because they need a little bit more help.
Yeah,
That's great.
Awesome.
That's great. Well, Jared, just to kind of put an exclamation point to the episode, we're asking all of our sharks this week. It doesn't even have to be part of Pearl AI. It's just you guys exist in the AI and tech world, software world. What do you see? You go to these trade shows, you talk to smarter people than us. What do you see in the next 2 to 3 years, short period of time?
Yeah.
How do you see AI changing our industry in a very short period of time between now and let's just say 2 years? What do you think's the one thing or a few things that you think is just going to blow our minds and really change our industry?
Yeah, I love that. I reference maybe thinking of AI as like spell check. My wife's name is Krista, Crysta. Almost 100% of the time when I'm typing her name on my phone, it changes it to Crystal, right? It's going to make mistakes, right? But for the most part, spell check is amazing. And I read it. Yeah, me too. I read an article that summed it up, and I steal it. So I wish I could say I thought of this, but it was by a dentist saying, what will AI do to the field of dentistry? Oh. And he closed his article. You can find it on LinkedIn. By saying dentists will never be replaced by AI. Dentists using AI will replace those who don't. That's what's going to happen in the next couple of years, is because they're going to be faster. They're going to be more efficient.
Oh, say that again.
They're going to be faster, more efficient.
No, dentists
will never Dentists will never be replaced by AI. Dentists using AI will replace those who don't.
It's
true. I can see that. I think that goes for a lot of us. We've been reading a lot of things about consultants and any service provider for that matter. I'm getting Instagram algorithms on replacing bookkeepers with AI. I mean, it's really fascinating, and those that don't adopt will die. I think that's where that article is going, and I think you're spot on. I'm thinking about going to get my plumbing license this weekend. So,
if you do, get over here because I got a lot of issues.
that's my game.
Of $10,000. You know what I mean? It's where the money is too.
But if you don't have a plan like I do, figure it out. Either start adopting and using it, or become a plumber with me. So, without that, with anything else, Jared, let's close this thing down. But we really appreciate your time and your thoughts, and we love your company and your technology. That's right.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah.
Have a great week.
Thanks so much, Jared. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We'll see you.
Thanks for listening. Let us know how you like the show. Rate us on Apple and Spotify. Subscribe and follow for more.